Would you like that?
Camera's on.
Yeah. No, I'm over here. When did you send them?
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting of Borough Council to order. Begin with the pledge of
I haven't
allegiance.
looked at my email in an hour.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brenner?
Here.
Councilmember Durr will be absent. Councilmember Mobley?
Here.
Councilmember Barnett? Here. Councilmember Stanko?
Here.
Councilmember Reeser?
Here.
And Council President James.
Here. Okay, for tonight's council meeting, we did have an executive session to go over some personnel matters. Okay, do we have public comments as they relate to agenda items this evening? All righty. Ma'am, would you like to be first? Please give your name and your address, please.
My name is Kimball. I live at 14 Galesong Lane. Okay. In Wyomissing, at the Highlands. I'm here with Dr. Brian Schwab. Here we are. And Dr. excuse me, Dr. Jeff Zinberg, who's on his way. Brian is trustee of the Pennsylvania Dental Association, and Dr. Zinberg is president of the Berks County Dental Association. We're supported by the residents who were signatories on the document that I think you all received. Did anyone not receive it? Because I have extra copies if you need them. You all got them in the email, okay. You received the letter. The important facts about fluoride, as you're talking about that resolution later on this evening, we have 75 years of evidence that fluoride in optimal concentration is very effective in preventing dental caries, which is the most common childhood disease. 5 times more than asthma, more common than asthma. Fluoridation of water is the most cost-effective way to prevent caries. And although the cost of fluoride has risen, and we understand that, from 50 cents a person 15 years ago when I first started in looking at oral health as a pediatrician, it's now somewhere between $3 and $5 a person per year. It's still a very cost-effective public health measure. If any of you have had a cavity filled lately, I don't need to tell you about that. We've all come to understand the need for our governments to provide for the public health with the epidemic of SARS-CoV-2. The third point is sodium fluorosilicate that's used by all of the water authorities to fluoridate their water, the ones that fluoridate their water, is safe for employees when it's handled properly. It's also safe in water, in the manner in which it is used. It is an industrial chemical, which is part of why the price has gone up, like all other industrial chemicals that you know. And then finally, grants for up to $25,000 are available from the Pennsylvania state government through the Coalition for Oral Health, who manages it for them, for improving water infrastructure. There was a set that had the deadline on the 18th of November. The Water Authority knew about those, was told about those in October and given the application, but did not apply. I spoke with Mrs. Hockey, who is the person that administers those grants at the PCOH, and she informed me today that a new cycle will soon be available for applications if the authority decides to apply, and it's the same $25,000 grants. A lot of other municipalities have participated in those grants, and they found it very helpful as they have to upgrade their water facilities. So we all request that you please vote affirmative on that resolution that is in your packet for tonight from the Infrastructure Committee. I believe it was unanimous from the Infrastructure Committee, and I thank you for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has them.
Thank you, Dr. Kimball, for your
Thanks.
professional advice. Okay, and who is next? Any more?
Gregory Krutoyarsky, 41 Cardinal Road. I'll come closer. I was not so much. The topic is the same. I would like to pay your attention on how Borough of Iriston is spending taxpayers' money. In 2018, Borough Council enacted two ordinances, 1403 and 1408, to grant no parking zone at the entryway to residents of 47 Cardinal Road, where Mr. Pullen and his wife, his Dinero, live, for the sake of granting them emergency services if they need such in the future. Pullen didn't ask for it, as I found, as no request in any form was found in the Borough files upon my inquiry. Borough spent thousands of dollars for this project. I have the list of expenditures for this. I included money spent for the study ordered by Mr. Jenkins Jenkins, am I correct now? When I submitted a written request for the same protection. The study had found that indeed my property at 41 Cardinal Road and property across the street 48 Cardinal Road needs protection. This is a screenshot of such a screen here of this study. Unfortunately, during hearing at the Borough Hall, Mr. Jenkins, right after the executive session, reiterated that he was against it and so was the verdict. The result is very interesting. Owners of the cars registered at 47 Cardinal Road were no parking zone, the unique no parking zone for any residents in our borough. Started parking inside the no parking zone granted to them, and in front of my property and across the street, blocking the line of sight at the top of the hill, where the study stated that the additional no parking zone was needed. I complained about such parking habits several times. Last time they parked in no parking zone on November 6, 2022. Here are the pictures of the offenses. When they park inside their own no parking zone, so making it dangerous for them to live in their own house as the Borough Council decided. Spending money and granting unusual privileges to those who are dealing with borough officials in private, there was no any request found. And not granting any request by those citizens when a scientific study paid with tax money show need of such measures is a sign of corruption in the Borough of Iriston. Second, I would like to say some kind of warning to the borough officials. Sometimes, all of a sudden, the chairman stops the meeting for executive session, and immediately after the voting takes place for the immediately after it, the voting takes place for the problems introduced by the public before the executive session took place. And there is a Sunshine Act in Pennsylvania. It says an agency may discuss certain matters in executive session, which is not held in public. Section 705 of the Sunshine Act enumerates 7 reasons an agency may hold an executive session. First, discuss personnel matters. Second, hold an information, strategy, and negotiation session related to the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement. Third, considering the purchase or lease of real property. Fourth, consulting with an attorney about active or pending litigation. Fifth, discussing agency business, which, if conducted in public, would violate a lawful privilege or lead to the disclosure of information or confidentiality protected by law.
Sir, you have 30 seconds left.
Okay. 6, discussing certain academic matters, not related to the borough. Discussing certain public safety issues if disclosure of the information
discussed would be reasonably likely to jeopardize or threaten public safety or preparedness for public protection. Mr. President, the law states that all deliberations and all other matters are only permitted in public. Ladies and gentlemen, you are also breaking the law if and when you are participating in such.
Okay, sir, thank you very much for your time. Your
I'm
5 minutes
asking
is
you
up.
to stick to the law.
Sir?
And tell,
Sir, your 5 minutes is up.
okay,
Thank you.
I asked everybody and you too. Thank you very much.
Okay, who is next?
It's a non-agenda item.
That technically has to wait.
We do
until
that
the
at
end.
the
Oh,
end
is
of
that
the
at the
meeting.
end? I am so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so used to.
Is there anyone else?
You get to endure the whole meeting.
Yeah. That's, unfortunately, that's state policy now. Okay, no one else? Okay, hearing none, the public comment session of agenda items is closed. And we'll move on to a public hearing. And you want to take it from there?
Sure, thank you, Mr. President. There is an ordinance which has been advertised for council's consideration tonight entitled an ordinance of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, amending the Wyomissing Borough Code of Ordinances to establish additional restriction on the 48-hour parking allowance for certain vehicles. This has been identified as ordinance number 1428 of 2022. In the Wyomissing Code, there is an existing regulation limiting the parking on borough streets of oversized vehicles, including things like construction related vehicles that might be loading or unloading materials or equipment, and other large vehicles based on the weight or dimensions as identified in the existing regulation. The proposed ordinance that's under consideration tonight would add an additional condition that the 48-hour period would be measured to include any relocation of the vehicle within 1 mile of its prior parking location. Police department has confirmed that they would be able to measure those relocations of oversized vehicles in order to avoid the abuse of the 48-hour limitation on the parking of oversized vehicles. So that is a background of information about what is proposed. It is an attempt by the borough to gain better control over the extended time parking of oversized vehicles on borough streets. At this time, I want to turn to the council and to the audience and ask if anyone has any questions about the proposed ordinance which is under consideration tonight. Seeing no indication of that, the borough is now, borough council that is now in a position that you can consider a motion to approve, reject, or table the proposed ordinance. It has been advertised and all the procedures necessary for enactment have been completed.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the ordinance 1428-2032.
Second. We have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Ordinance number 1428-2022 is enacted.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, before you, we have the council minutes from our previous meeting. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Okay, consulting engineers report.
Mr. McCarthy is not able to join us this evening. He had nothing to add beyond what is already in his report, and he asked me to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the engineering report.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Police chief and mayor's report, Mr. Mayor.
The chief is not with us this evening either, although I can confirm that he's not with the borough engineer. And you have his report rather in front of you. There really isn't anything of particular note beyond what you can read for yourself. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to try to answer them. If not, I'll get you an answer.
I'm making a motion to approve the report.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Fire chief's report, Chief Hackman.
Good evening, council. For the month of November, there were total responses of 310. Out of those 310, the Wyomissing Station ran 166, consisting of 27 fires, 26 motor vehicle accidents, 49 medical responses, 16 hazardous conditions, 47 alarm activations, and 1 fire police only call. There was a total of 106 responses in the borough, 39 in Spring Township, and 21 outside of the borough. For the QRS medical responses, we had 49 incidents. Out of those 49, we had 22 patient contacts. There was no Narcan administration for the month. Our busiest day of the week was Wednesday with 54 calls, and our busiest hour of the day was multiple, 10 a.m. to 11, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. with 22 incidents in that time frame. There was a total of 98 overlapping calls. Out of those, 42 were between Spring and Wyomissing at the same time, 18 were within Wyomissing at the same time, and 38 were within Spring at the same time. We had fire damage for the month of November of $3,200, saved property of $246,800. That was for an incident on a small fire on Cedarwood Road. Average 4.8 personnel per incident, and total responses for the month, for the year so far, 1,644. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for the fire chief? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, chief. Okay, moving on to committee reports. We're going to start this evening with the Recreation Board. Jana and Peter.
We have 3 motions we'd like council to consider, but first I'd like Pete to tell council what's happening this month.
The month of the end of November and beginning of December, we had Night of the Greens on December 4th. The original date for that was December 3rd, but because of the football team's success and the marching band having to go to town of Philadelphia to accommodate that game, we decided to use spring day, which was Sunday. We had about 350 borough residents and guests attend. It was a good turnout. Rec board has provided some feedback as to things they might change to better enhance their attendees' experience. We talked about in January at our meeting then. Last Sunday, 2 days ago, we had our first family movie at the high school. It was attended by 32 people, ranging in age from approximately 6 years old to about 90 years old. So I think that's a worthwhile endeavor to keep pursuing. It doesn't really cost us anything besides the screening rights for Schwenk Motion Pictures. So that seemed to go off without a hitch. We'll have another one in January, another in February, another in March. So that's basically it.
Previously, we had discussed Memorial Day parade and the disappointing attendance on the parade route for some time, and the rec board's recommendation that the parade route be shortened and changed somewhat in the hopes that we get better attendance. Pete, is there anything else you'd like to add to that before we make a motion?
No, we discussed this in committee, and they seem to agree that if we lop off part of Hampton and all of Denver, or all of Denver Drive, then we'll probably solve it.
So I'd like,
Both Tewksbury, turn left on Southampton, go down another road, turn right.
On the Mayfair, and go right over down. Yeah.
and the hopes is also that the people on the parade route will follow the parade into the park and participate in the activities which would be enhanced. I'm making a motion to, for council to approve the suggested Memorial Day route change. Turn left as it said on Southampton Drive instead of traditional right, eliminating Coastal Downing Drive and everywhere.
So moved.
We have a motion and second.
With the second. Oh, second, okay, I'll second that then.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Questions? Okay, the ayes have it.
All right, our second motion is continuing problem of unfortunate behavior on the basketball courts, which rather than impose the death penalty by closing the courts, the rec board would like to encourage good behavior and post signs explaining what we perceive to be good behavior and notifying people of their consequences for bad behavior. So we are asking that council approve the posting of rule signs at the Wyomissing Hills and County Hall basketball courts, informing the public of expected behaviors when using these facilities. Is there a second?
Oh, and we first did it.
Yeah.
Well, that's my
I'll
motion.
second.
That's my motion, thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You have your signs.
So sad, you have to put a sign.
Yep.
It's pathetic, but that's where we are. We are hoping to encourage better behavior. And finally, Kate and Melissa did a nice job on the rec board minutes, and we I'm making a motion asking that they be approved.
We have a motion to
I'll second.
approve the minutes and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jen and Peter. Economic Development Committee, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Economic Development Committee met on November the 17th. We've been working for some months now on what we're referring to as a short-term rental ordinance. These are commonly referred to as Airbnbs, and they we found them advertised on websites that we didn't know were rentals, and now we do. So we felt it was something that is another thing to be on top of and get some degree of control over the issue before it becomes a problem. I do want to emphasize, though, at the present time, we haven't really had any problems to speak of, really none at all, about short-term rentals. But we expect and anticipate that there will be more of these. So we want to get some measure of control to make sure that the neighborhood doesn't get disrupted. And of course, you always worry about safety, that the buildings are adequate for this new intended use. So we have talked about it for a couple of months. We've come up with some draft kind of language, and the committee then forwarded this to the Borough's Planning Commission to have them take a look at the concept and see if they have any recommendations. So there's nothing before council this evening, but hopefully will be in the next couple of months. Otherwise, we updated some ongoing projects within the borough. We have noted that the so-called island over at the former Vanity Fair property, now the Knitting Mills, has been sold. At this point, we are awaiting the new owner to come to us with what his particular plans are, and we wish him the best. Other than that, if anyone has any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
Any questions for the mayor?
Otherwise, I'll ask that somebody makes a recommendation that you approve it.
So,
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, moving on to infrastructure, Mr. Brunner.
Thank you, Mr. Jenks. The Infrastructure Committee met on November 21st. Dr. Kimball was nice enough to come in and discuss and shared the letter she sent to Chip Bilger for the Western Brooks Water Authority on the fluoride situation, and that leads me to our first recommendation that the the committee is making a recommendation to authorize Borough Manager Michelle Baird to prepare a letter to Western Berks Water Authority regarding the stance and to continue fluoridization, I can't say it, fluoridization treatments in the water supply. Fluoridation, I can't say it.
Doctor, please help him out.
The bill should be shown at council December 22nd meeting, so I'll go ahead and make that recommendation.
I second.
We have a recommendation, motion and second, send a letter opposing the discontinuation of that product. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Ms. Baird, please send the letter to Western Berks Water Authority.
And you can note it unanimous. Under sanitary sewer, the only thing we have to do is, the committee's making a recommendation to council to approve payment application number 4 in the amount of $126,915.96 to Sewer Specialty Services for the sewer rehabilitation and televising project, and I'll make that recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brenner?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President Jenks.
Yes.
Okay, and recently brought to our attention was, or my attention was, that there's some changing in the recommendations for the streets and this 50/50 sidewalk repair. So the committee is gonna make a recommendation to council to approve payment application number 2 in the amount of $28,916 even to LB Construction Enterprises for the 50/50 sidewalk work. And I'll make that recommendation.
You said even?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, 30 cents.
It was 30 cents? All right, and 30 cents, sorry.
Hey,
Should have been.
The number you're stating is not in the same number.
Right.
That's
It's
what
not
the number we're
number.
stating is a reduction in the amount that was stated on there because, Jim?
The read that there's a change in application number 2 and 3, we received both of those just prior to infrastructure. We approved them in infrastructure without me going out and checking the quantities, if they were accurate. After going out and checking the quantities were less than on these original payment applications. So combined, we're reducing the price, basically.
And the new price is $28,916.30.
No, $2,916 even.
It's what?
You were right.
Oh,
What's the amount? 29,000 or 2,900?
28,000.
For application number 2, $28,916.
Flat, even, which is what I said the first time.
Correct.
It is.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
I made that
And I'll
recommendation.
second that.
Okay, we have a motion second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brenner?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President Jenks.
Yes.
There's also a change in the payment application number 3. Again, as Jim stated, when you add the two together, it's a savings of $7,862.35, I think, close to it. So the committee will make the recommendation to council to approve payment application number 3 in the amount of $46,216.95.
45 cents.
$46,216.45 to LB Construction Enterprises, Inc. for the 50/50 sidewalk work. And I'll go ahead and make that recommendation.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brenner?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President Jenks.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have, change order number 1, that the committee is recommending for payment in the amount of $162,817 to LB Construction Enterprises for the 50/50 sidewalk work. And I'll go ahead and do that.
That's not for payment, it's just for approval of the change order. That change order dollar amount is included in the pay application.
Perfect. Thank you. So
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
The committee's also made a recommendation authorizing the Public Works Director to mail curb replacement notices to the residents in the area of the 2023 proposed street improvement areas. And I will make that recommendation also.
Second.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
There's a clarification we have to make from a previous meeting where the grass cutting contract, basically we approved $3,180 per cut. It's $3,480 per cut. And the committee is making a recommendation to council to approve Smitty's lawn care revised mowing rate of $3,480 per cut. And I'll go ahead and make that recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and second to revise the mowing rate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Under old business, Michelle Baer brought to us that the borough received grants in the amount of $2 million in the RACP for the public funding works of the project facility. That's the good news. The bad news is there's a 50% match obligation. We also had a $1 million grant that was received in 2021 for the same project, and that grant award also had a 50% match. We don't necessarily have to do anything with it, but I believe we have to accept the bid. So the committee is making a recommendation to council to accept the RACP grant of $2 million awarded to the borough on November 18th, 2020 for the Public Works Facility project with a 50% grant match obligation. And I'll go ahead and make that recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And just we need a motion, I'll make the motion to approve the infrastructure committee report.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, library. Ms. Barnett.
All right, as you can see from the report, there is some tweaking with the various policies. The treasurer's report, the library very much appreciates the borough's support, financial support, as reflected in the 2023 budget, and very much appreciates Michelle meeting with James Hornstaff and planning staff to review the budgetary implications for the library. Usage is, the increase is slow, which is not surprising, which we've enjoyed great increases for a while. There is a vacancy in the position of children's library. Fundraising continues. It's a potential challenge. And next week, we may be updating our personnel policy. So that's our report. And I ask that it be approved by council.
Any questions for the, for Jan in the library?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion and second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Thank you. Okay, the Fire and Police Committee met on November the 29th. Under Fire Department, it was a very active month, actually. Chief Hackman brought us up to date on civil service process as it continues to progress towards the development of the civil service list for hiring of firefighters. Under the course of the applicants, there is a section of the chief that applicants must legally operate a motor vehicle in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. However, it's recommended that the applicants be given up to 6 months after hire to obtain their Class B commercial's driver's license. Having said that, the committee is recommending the council approve the suggested change to section 3.8 general qualifications of the fire department civil service rules and regulations to waive subsection E pertaining to the requirement to have a valid Class B commercial driver's license upon hire. All applicants must still possess a valid driver's license and be able to legally operate a motor vehicle in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and will now be given up to 6 months after hire to obtain a Pennsylvania Class B commercial driver's license, contingent upon Class B testing availability within 6 months of new hires to participate. And I will make that recommendation.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, the borough manager brought to the committee's attention that DCD is now conducting regional fire and emergency service studies at no cost. The study would help the borough evaluate the options for the fire service operations in the future. Besides ourselves, Spring Township has indicated their interest in participating in this study. As a result, there is a letter of intent that must be signed and express interest in participating in the study. And I will make that motion from the committee to recommend council authorize the execution and submission of letter of intent to DCD to participate in an operational study for the fire department.
I'll second that.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, just one quick thing under Western Berks Ambulance. There was 298 calls for service that Western Berks responded to in the borough. Okay, under the police chief, or police department, Chief Phillips shared the civil service will meet on December the 20th to certify the hiring list for the police department patrol person. Due to the limited time to complete necessary hiring procedures before the start of the January 16th State Police Academy, a special meeting may be held or will be held to approve the conditional offer of employment. And we have that date, is that correct?
December 20th, which is next Tuesday. The special council meeting will be held at 12:30 p.m. Civil service will meet first at 12 p.m., both in council chambers.
Okay. Alrighty, Chief Phillips also expressed that the new police car has been received and that the high school is interested in purchasing the car identified as car number 5. The committee is recommending the council to authorize the sale of police car 5 directly to the Wyomissing Area School District, contingent upon a mutually agreed upon sale price. And I'll make that motion. We have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, under Westside Regional Emergency Management, Coordinator Tom Boucher would just like to see more people sign up for the Code Red, the fair warning, that comes on your phones. So we're gonna start publicizing that a little bit more. Okay. Under executive session, we did meet to discuss the firefighters' collective bargaining agreement. There was no public comment provided when we came out of executive session. And a motion has been made to council, excuse me, recommended by the committee, to recommend council allow a firefighter who was injured while working for another employer and who is receiving workers' compensation through the other employer. The right to use a portion of accrued sick leave to bring the total compensation from workers' compensation and sick leave to the net compensation received from the borough based on the firefighter's base compensation. And I will make that motion.
I'll second.
A motion and second. Questions on that motion?
Not on that, I had
I'm
public
sorry,
comment.
sir. No.
It's about the same thing. I had public comment during the
You're
commission.
out of-
Do you have it included?
No,
Do you have it
public
included?
comment was held at the time we brought this up,
Yes,
not now.
was it included in the report or not?
It's an
We are
objection on
discuss-
Sunshine Act,
we are
Mr.
discussing-
Johnson.
Okay, your objection is noted.
It's not objection, it's question.
It's right there on the agenda.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And Melissa, I commend you for writing that.
I make a motion to approve the fire and police committee report.
Not at the moment.
We have a motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Planning Commission, Mr. Stanko.
Entertainment value of the evening. For those who are interested in what's going on in the borough, there are several items related to property development. First of which is the Berkshire Mall West preliminary final land development program, which involves allied property in the Berkshire Mall West. The significant issue that came up at our meeting on December 5th was the ability to access for security and fire purposes part of that land development. We agreed at the planning commission meeting with a motion to accept the letter of authorization to the borough for emergency access from both parties, flag and visible on the plan. That motion was made and carried, so I'd like to ask the council to approve that motion.
We have a motion
A second.
and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the second item
Oh, wait a
was.
minute. Opposed? The ayes have it. Go ahead.
Okay, the second item is the fee in lieu of a traffic impact study. That motion was put on the table to accept a fee in lieu of a traffic impact study. And that motion is being put forward. I will make that motion that we accept that fee in lieu of a traffic impact study.
I'll second, but I have a question. What is the amount of the fee?
Yet to be determined. They typically,
What's it based on?
a traffic engineer's report stating what the cost would be to do the traffic impact
And
study.
who holds the fee in the interim?
They just pay it
They
to
just
us.
pay it,
And then we
and-
put it towards our own traffic improvements. A lot of times it's used as a
Oh,
match.
so it's
on
not an
price.
escrow like a bond would be?
No, it's they're giving us a payment in lieu of doing the study. And then since we know through Greenlight Go and some other grant programs what our actual traffic issues are, we typically cobble those fees together and use them as our match on Greenlight Go and other programs.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. I had public comments during fire and police meeting. Can you please show me
No,
where?
no, you're out of order.
Yes,
Please sit
yes,
down.
yes, yes,
Please sit
yes,
down.
Yes.
Please sit
According
down.
to the Sunshine Act, public has right to ask questions. Yes,
Not at this time. The,
at what time, please?
public comment period
It's not public
was
comment
on
period,
agenda
no.
items at the beginning
No,
of
no,
the
no, no,
meeting.
no, no, no,
and
no.
there's
During
another public
discussions,
comment
during
period.
discussions, at public meeting, public has a right to ask questions. I have a question.
There-
In this fire and police meeting, I had public comments. Is it included or not?
Under
That's
the
it.
sunshine law, if you have an objection to what is occurring at the meeting right now based on a perceived violation of sunshine law, you can stand up and interrupt the meeting. But unless you have some, objection on the basis of the sunshine law to what is occurring right now
Not
in the meeting?
objection, it's a question during discussion. We are discussing the fire and police meeting notes. And I have a question. My public comment, was it included into the meetings or not?
Okay, that is not a challenge to the sunshine law regarding what is occurring right now in this meeting. If you have some public comment you wish to raise, you
It's a
can bring
question,
that up
it's not
at
a
the
comment.
end of this meeting. We are
Sorry,
not
it
now
is an
talking
objection.
about
Okay,
fire, police, and
enough.
DPW.
Okay, good. Okay, not the first time.
Where are we?
Traffic fee in lieu of
Traffic
personal
fee in
license.
lieu of.
I believe you had a motion and a second, subject to Mr.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, moving right along. 301 North Park Road.
No.
This involves a request to waive formal land development process on the property formerly identified as
Wait on me.
Boston Chicken, depending how far you want to go back, or Wells Fargo.
You're really good.
I want to know what you and I things. So the request to waive formal land development involves a conference center and a current drive-through space, space of a house and old vehicles. The planning commission had a motion made, seconded by Janet, to recommend council approve granting a waiver from the formal land development requirement for 301 North Park Road, contingent upon comments made in McCarthy's engineering review letter, as well as administrative review of the revised site plan submitted by the property owner. I'm submitting that for approval by the borough council.
Second.
A motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, moving right along, 850 North Wyomissing Boulevard for the development plan.
North Wyomissing Hills Boulevard.
No, Wyomissing Boulevard.
No, it says Wyomissing Hills
Wyomissing
Boulevard.
says, okay, we need to amend that.
It says Wyomissing in mine.
Isn't it the old McGlynn building?
Yes, on Wyomissing Boulevard, North Wyomissing Boulevard.
North Wyomissing.
It's North Wyomissing.
North Wyomissing
Not
Boulevard.
Hills.
Yeah, this says.
This here says
Wyomissing.
Hills in the.
says Hills in the minutes.
Well, let's wait.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
It's
no.
not, it's not on the agenda, so we're good.
So we're doing North
So
Wyomissing.
it's North Wyomissing.
Yes.
No, it says Hills.
Somewhere in your finances.
Above it.
It does say Hills, please clarify,
Yes, just
on the agenda.
when you state your motion, state it as it should be rather than as it's printed in the agenda.
So
Just
Wyomissing
omit the
or
word,
Hills?
omit the word Hills.
I never put the word hills in.
It's
I
under-
read North
where it says
Wyomissing.
error.
See, I'm reading.
Hills is an error.
Alright. So, let's start on 850 North Wyomissing Boulevard, final land development plan. There are two motions made. One is made to recommend the council grant the waiver from section 404.1 to allow the key map to be presented at a scale of 1 inch equals 300 feet instead of requiring 800 feet for 850 North Wyomissing.
No, Hills, not Hills.
The hills are not mine now, okay, so I take the hills out, put Wyomissing back in. All right, so that motion was made to recommend the council grant the waiver for those two items. I would make that motion.
With the correction.
With the correction.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
A motion and second with the correction. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, second motion was to grant the waiver of section 403.1 and 404.1 from the subdivision land development ordinance regarding plane scale for 850 North Wyomissing Boulevard. All in favor? We voted in favor of that as well, that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and second with the correction. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Just so you know, Ron, there is a North Wyomissing Hills Boulevard.
I know.
Yes, there
I
is.
know.
In
We're not
Wyomissing,
voting
yeah,
yet.
we're not-
doesn't go up to $850
It's not
though.
the same thing.
And even at
Try
100.
this again. That's for those trying to trip me up.
Roman 7.
A motion was made to deny the waiver of section 404.1L to field, locate, and show on the plans all utility lines currently serving the current building for 850 North Wyomissing Boulevard. And that motion was approved by the planning commission, and I so recommend the council for approval.
Just a motion, second?
Can I ask a question? What, is it difficult to obtain those utility lines?
No,
So call, isn't it Pete, call one, whatever?
PA1 call?
PA1.
Yeah, the recommendation of the planning commission is to deny the waiver request.
No, I understand
And
that.
the reason for that is the borough engineer believes that it's essential to have that information shown on the plan.
There's a motion and a second.
Okay, are there any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, back in the suit one more time. Additional motion was made to recommend council deny the waiver from section 404.1W and 404.1X to field, locate, and show on the plans location, size, material, all underground utilities and associated rights of way. That was approved by the planning commission, and I recommend that the council approve this.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, the last item on the 850 agenda is a motion to table conditional final plan approval for the North 850 Holden.
You don't need to take action on that.
No, there's no action.
Okay, so that's,
Follow your council agenda, not the PC
So
minutes.
we're just at,
it's not on the agenda.
no, we just need a motion to approve the planning commission report.
I so move.
Second.
Oh, with the amendments, as stated. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved with the amendments. Okay, thank you, Mr. Stanko. Mr. Brunner, you're up again.
I get no spending money to save money. Here we go. All right, the finance committee met on December 8th. Couple things, we had the pension group in to discuss, not shockingly, the pensions had a rough quarter and have had a rough year. On top of that, the borough council has always we're trying to lower the assumption rate. So we're gonna continue to do that, and it'll end up being, it's gonna go to 6.75%. So the committee was discussing in length whether we should put additional funding into the pension plan based upon our projections with the budget at the end of 2022. That being said, the committee is making a recommendation to council to approve the fourth quarter MMO to the pension plans, the amount of $74,499.50, as well as an additional pension plan funding of $100,000 even for a total payment of $174,499.50 to be made to the pension plans. And I'll go ahead and make that recommendation.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brunner?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President Jenks?
Yes.
We had discussion on the October results, as you can read. If there's any questions, I'll gladly try to answer those as you wish. One thing of note is the November of 22 real estate taxes. Looks like we're at 97.29% of total collections, which is right about where it was last year at this time. Then we have to get into the 2020, now we're gonna get into the borough's, resolution number 2022-24, a resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, adopting Herbine and Company as the independent auditor of the Borough of Berks County. I'll make that recommendation. Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
also making a recommendation to council to adopt resolution number 2024, did that one, right, sorry. A motion to approve Turbine and Company at the audit fee of $17,000. I apologize.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Councilmember Brennan?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President James?
Yes.
Okay. I'll try to stick to the script here. We also have resolution 2022-25, a resolution of the council of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, amending the water rates. And a motion is needed to approve resolution number 2022 to set the new water rates effective January 1st, 2023, and that increase is 6%.
Eight.
No,
It's at 8%. 8%.
It's
8%.
So I make that recommendation to approve to set the new water rates effective January 1st, 2023.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And let's just say that is a pass-through, that's what we're getting from Western Berks Water, so we're just passing that along.
Resolution 2022-26 is the resolution of the Borough of Wyomissing establishing standard meter rates for domestic and industrial sewage, and the committee is making a recommendation to approve resolution 2022-26 to setting the new sewer rates effective January 1st, 2023, and I'll make that recommendation.
Second.
A motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-27 is the resolution of the Council of Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania fixing of the tax rate for the calendar year 2023. And I am making a recommendation that we approve the fixing the rate of 2023, which of course is no increase. I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and second that the taxes will be held where they are now and there will be no increase. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-28 is a resolution of the Borough of Wyomissing revising and updating the borough's fee schedule, and I'm going to make the recommendation to approve resolution 2022-28 establishing the borough rates for 2023.
All those in favor? Opposed?
You have a second?
Need a second, I'll second that.
Oh, second, apologize. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Need a motion to approve the advertisement of the 2023 meeting dates, and I'll go ahead and make that recommendation.
Second.
Motion.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Moving along, I will make a motion to approve or to update the delinquent utility account notification procedure to eliminate one email notice, thus mailing one past due notice as well as a second/final notice, with the shut-off notice being hand-delivered to the residents. And I'll go ahead and make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I'll also make a recommendation and a motion to advertise the 2023 budget.
Second.
Approve it.
Yeah, it's already.
Approve the advertised 2023 budget. Sorry.
I still second.
Okay, Mr. Mogul still seconds it, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I will, on behalf of Mr. Durr, who can't be here tonight, I will thank all the the heads of the departments, Michelle. Everybody did a great job this year getting this thing organized. The budget's always a proposition that's not a whole lot of fun. Not to say it was fun, but at least it was efficient. So I thank you for that. And then I'll make a recommendation to approve the finance and admin committee report.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I'll also add to that, with all the committees and especially finance and admin, the responsibility that takes place in this. This isn't you sit down one time, you hash out a budget. This took long hours, numerous meetings, and I commend each and every one of you that serve on that. The knowledge that this borough has on that committee is incredible, and I'm glad that we continue to have such qualified personnel on that committee. Okay, moving right along to the borough manager's report. Mrs. Bell.
Good evening. The minutes from the November 14th, 2022 Western Berks Water Authority Board meeting are in your council packets. A copy of a letter sent by Senator Schwank to Western Berks Water Authority regarding fluoridation of the water supply is included in your council packets as well. A copy of the 2023 Wyomissing Valley Joint Municipal Authority budget is in your council packets. As you can see from what is up on the screen, they did not put a title on it, it just says 2023 budget. So it is pages 119 through 122 of your council packets to avoid confusion with our other Wyomissing Borough budget items. I'm requesting a motion to approve the sale and municipal bid of a 2018 Ford Police Interceptor at a purchase price of $9,300 and a 2002 Ford Crown Victoria at a purchase price of $2,550.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Questions on the motion? All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brenner?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko? Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President James.
Yes.
I'm respectfully requesting a motion to approve authorizing and execution of an agreement between the Borough, Spring Township, and the Highlands of Wyomissing for connections to be made from the Highlands to the West Lawn Interceptor as part of the Highlands Apartment Project, and for payment to be made to the Borough of $300,000 from the Highlands, subject to review and comment by Spring Township of the agreement, which we are still waiting for those review comments from their solicitor.
Someone wish to make that
I'll make that
motion?
Second.
Motion and second. Are there any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. No, we need a roll call.
Yes.
Yep, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brenner?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President James.
Yes.
I'm respectfully requesting a motion to approve adoption of resolution number 2022-29, a resolution of the Council of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, approving the financing through the National Finance Authority of a certain project for the benefit of the Highlands at Wyomissing, designating the President of Borough Council, or in his absence, any other member, as the applicable elected representative.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Questions on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Resolution 2022-29 passes.
I'm respectfully requesting a motion to adopt resolution number 2022-30, a resolution of the Council of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, appointing Glenn R. Kraft of Kraft Municipal Group Incorporated as building code official and appointing Kraft Municipal Group Incorporated as third-party code inspector pursuant to the Pennsylvania Construction Code Act and the Uniform Construction Code, and appointing Kraft Municipal Group Incorporated as residential zoning officer and alternate commercial zoning officer pursuant to the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code effective January 1st of 2023.
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Give me 1 second to catch up with resolutions. I apologize. I meant to hand these out to you before council and I did not. This is a resolution to honor the late George Edmonds for his work to memorialize the history of the borough by writing a book, Wyomissing an American Dream Enterprise. He passed away on October 8th of this year. And anyone that would like to see a copy of the book, unfortunately, it's very hard to come by. It's currently selling on Amazon for anywhere from $200 to several $1,000s. Yeah. It's out of print. But Dave Voucher and Mayor Levering actually both requested we adopt a resolution to honor Mr. Edmonds' contribution to again memorializing the history of the borough.
He was born here, because of his work. He eventually relocated to New England, but never lost an affinity and love for his hometown. And it was during the borough centennial that he wrote the book, and I happen to have one and I'm entertaining bids after.
I have one also, so there's 2 copies of it.
The library has a copy to borrow, but obviously not to purchase.
Was there one in the library, John?
There's one at the library to borrow, but not to purchase.
The borough across the street got up here.
I'll make a recommendation to approve resolution 2022-31.
Second.
32. No, sorry, I'm on the next one.
Second.
I second again.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Well done.
Respectfully requesting a motion for adoption of resolution number 2022-32, a resolution of the Council of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, taking and authorizing official action and requesting an H2OPA program grant. We're requesting $792,792, and this is for the West Lawn Interceptor project tied to the agreement with the Highlands of Wyomissing.
So moved. Second.
And motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Respectfully requesting a motion to adopt resolution number 2022-33, a resolution of the Council of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, to appoint Thomas M. Mull as treasurer for the Borough of Wyomissing effective January 1st of 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, but I will say, Mr. Portner, thank you very much for your many, many years of service.
You're welcome.
We will be asking you to come back to the January meeting
Yes.
to accept a little token of appreciation.
There it is.
Very, very little.
You're not getting the book.
I'm gonna be here for Tom's report.
Respectfully requesting a motion to approve advertisement of ordinance number 1429-2023, an ordinance of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, to amend the Code of Ordinances of the Borough of Wyomissing, Chapter 18, entitled Sewers and Sewage Disposal, to amend Part 1, entitled Sewer Rentals and Charges, B, entitled Sewer Rate, Section 121, entitled Industrial Sewage Rate, and Section 122, entitled Domestic Sewage Rate, to provide that all charges for sewer service shall be set by resolution. There is currently language in that section, those sections of that ordinance, that reference rates that are 20+ years old. This ordinance, once amended, would repeal that language and set the rates by resolution, which we will need to, moving forward, open the fee schedule in June to update for July 1st, the rates as the Wyomissing Valley Joint Municipal Authority updates them. That's enough.
So moved.
Second. The motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
A friendly reminder, Borough Hall will be closed on Friday, December 23rd, Monday, December 26th, and Monday, January 2nd in observance of the holidays. I would like to wish all of you and your family a very safe and happy holiday season. And I request a motion respectfully to approve my report.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very well done. Okay, in your packet, you have the treasurer's statement of operation, including the general fund, Bureau of Water, sewer fund, highway aid, refuse recycling fund, the road tax fund. And having all that before you, I will turn this over to our treasurer, Mr. Portner.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, we are 11 months into our year, 1 month to go. Looking pretty good. You heard the report
Steve gave some summaries of what was discussed at the last finance committee meeting. We have, if you look at page, where is it? Scroll down the bottom there, what are we talking about? Fund summary. I guess that's page 1 or something like that here. There you go, go back up. There you go. One more. There you go. So, look at the 6th column over, all the way to the bottom, you're looking at a, thank you. You're looking at a fund balance through November of a net result surplus of $1,297,000. That is again through 11 months. If you look at what the budget, we had predicted, 11/12 of that budget, the next 3 columns over was a loss of $2,258,000 or a deficit of $2,258,000. So you can see there's a $3.5 million positive swing there. Now, we're estimating about a $500,000 deficit for the month of December, approximately. If we have that, we'll have an ending fund balance addition of $797,000. If you look at, I guess the budget number, wherever that was in your, this page here, the proposed budget, where the fund balances are.
It's before my report,
Yeah,
hold on.
I guess, I don't know. Yeah, right there, okay. So scroll down one more.
Hang on.
There you go. So if you look at this next thing, this outlines the fund balances for the new year, where we think we're gonna be this year, and what the target was supposed to be. So basically, the total for next year, we're estimating a year-end fund balance of $7,270,000. If you look at, that's for the end of next year. If you look at the target was, for this year, was $7,400,000. So actually, we're only $150,000 different a year from now than we were predicting for the current year. So it was a job well done. All the planets lined up in the right direction and everything, all the revenue and expenses fell into place. So it was a good year. And that's why there was no tax increase this year, this kind of stuff. So that's it, my final report. And
I'm glad for your final report, there's no tax.
you made me make that motion at the last finance committee.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's
We have a motion and a second to accept the treasurer's report for the final time by motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You guys have it with our thank you. Okay, also before you is the accounts payable, general fund, Bureau of Water, sewer fund, refuge recycling fund. And we could have a roll call to accept the, that report.
Councilmember Brenner?
Yes.
Councilmember Mobile?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President Jenks?
Yes.
See, I remembered.
Okay, also before you is the tax collector's report. I'll entertain a motion to accept that.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, is there any old business to be brought before council this evening? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Any new business to be brought before council? And your patience is overwhelming. I'll now entertain public comment on non-agenda items.
Awesome, thank you.
Please identify yourself and your address.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Johanny Cepeda-Freytiz. I'm your new state representative-elect. So I'm just here to get to know each and every one of you, the needs of the borough, so that I can be an advocate in Harrisburg. I'm at your service. Thank you for having me. That's it.
Thank you very much. Got all that done. Give your business card that you can give to Mrs. Baer, please. Thank you.
Just like the city council meeting.
Exactly.
Are there any other public comments this evening? Mr. Jadic?
I don't want to interrupt the conversation.
Thank you.
So first of
Thank you
all,
very much.
I would like to congratulate Representative-elect Cepeda-Freytiz for her election and thank her for coming here. It's a refreshing attitude towards the constituents. Thank you for being here. I want to start by asking to, I would like to petition the Wyomissing Council to stop the contentious atmosphere that persists at various meetings. Residents who have grievances should be treated with the same respect as the residents who agree with your policies. We take time to come and speak against your policies because they affect us deeply, but we are met with contempt, discrimination, lies, and intimidation tactics designed to silence us. We're interrupted, yelled at, and cut off before 5 minutes are up. Just today, you could have just let Greg finish her sentence, even if it was a little bit over. You also interrupted me at less than 3 minutes. You obviously don't care about our comments. On numerous occasions, I've tried to raise awareness of what is defined as cultural racism. I have brought these issues up in the past, but was met with denial. Denying racism does not make it non-existent. As white American born and educated, you're unlikely to have ever experienced racism and discrimination, therefore your denialism has no logical foundation. One example, at the last fire and police meeting, I spoke against, and actually Greg spoke to, against the persistent delusional police reports against our neighbors at 47 Cardinal Road. Over and over, complaints of vandalism, trespassing, harassment have been labeled as suspicious activity and neighborly issues. At the same meeting, Chief Phillips gave us a response that was a classic mansplaining. With a condescending tone, he went on to identify each and every field in the VADA report in a patronizing manner. We know what the fields are for. Our complaint was that the report was filed under suspicious activity when nobody pronounced that word during the encounter, which was filmed, by the way, with the officer. Mr. Krutoyarsky report was about trespassing, and he stated that clearly both verbally and in the written report submitted to Officer Borman Parker, together with a photographic and video evidence. Furthermore, Greg specifically asked for charges to be pressed, which is an official petition to the DA to file charges. At the fire and police meeting, I presented a video where the officer is herself patronizing Mr. Krutoyarsky, pretending not to understand that he is petitioning the DA for charges. This is not an isolated incident. In contrast with other complaints, all complaints against the Colandonero have been distorted, watered down, in order to paint the immigrant complainant as being out of touch, exaggerated, even unhinged. I will submit a full version of this complaint to be attached to the minutes. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other public comments this evening? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion second. All those in favor? Thank you one and all. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.